Welcome to It's Marketing's Fault, the podcast where we discuss how to do marketing the right way. I'm your host, Eric Rutherford, and I am thrilled today because I have with me Gala Ivanikova. She's a digital marketer, digital and data visualization expert, and founder of Gaille Reports, a company which automates sales and marketing reports on a Google platform base. Gala, welcome to the show.
Hey, Eric. I'm super happy to be here and thank you to having me here.
It is my pleasure, and I was as we had kind of chatted through email, and just even before this conversation, I realized this was just I was going to learn a lot from you today.
Thank you.
As someone who has been in sales and marketing for a number of years and dealt with reporting, automating automating that is wonderful. Let me just say, as somebody who's done a lot of manual reporting, I'm excited to get into this. Um,
Yeah.
really, before we jump into that, though, I'd love to hear, like, for everybody listening, Gala lives in Portugal. What's the entrepreneurial scene look like in Portugal? What do you like about Portugal?
Yeah, Portugal is amazing. Yeah, it's true. If you didn't hear about it, if you never heard about it yet, I think you will because it's growing and growing, really. And it was one of the reasons why I moved here because Portugal, okay, they speak Portuguese. Not so many people speak Portuguese, but Lisbon is a special place where that bring attracts a lot of digital nomads and tech startups and crypto startups. So here there are a lot of communities like startups communities, business communities, and a lot of people who who are like interested in to develop something like businessmen, like people who who want to do something, and it was per purpose. I mean, the government, it was because of some laws in Portugal, because they did some low taxes for foreigners for 10 years, kind of some nice like taxes stuff, some good stuff for um, businesses, like for when you open a business. And they have really good startup program because I live here with startup visa. So my residence is startup residence, actually. Yeah.
Wow. So you've got a startup I didn't even know such a visa was possible.
Yes, it is, and it has a lot of benefits. Actually, I think for me at least, and because I have incubator where I have like really good like startup incubator with a mentor who helps me like to work on my project, and like it's entered to community, to investors, to other startups. So it's really great. Yeah.
Wow. I'm excited to hear that because I didn't even know that was possible, but that seems like it would open a lot of doors for you and just
Yeah.
just give you that opportunity. And I'm thrilled to hear that option's out there.
Yeah, it's actually it's a lot of option because when you know when the country are interested in new brains, new entrepreneurs, they like they help you all the time. They have a lot of programs like European Union program, like Portuguese program. We have Web Summit, for example, every November. Oh, I think yeah, November, December. I think November, as I remember. We have like huge conference here. Like I don't know, thousands of people come there. Like startup, it's startup conference. And because of my startup visa in my incubator, I had a stand there. So they pushed me like, okay, you need to present your product, like you need to present your project on the like world scene. And it's really nice.
Wow, what an opportunity.
Yeah. Yes,
That
it
that
is.
just to be able to go that they're encouraging you and pushing you to do that. What a
Yeah.
wonderful opportunity.
It's absolutely, and it's international community. So for me, Portugal, like it's super international community, like European people, US people, like Canada. I don't know wherever. Yeah,
Oh wow, I love it.
true.
So for everybody listening, if you are thinking about uh, going the digital nomad route, if you're looking for entrepreneurship, it sounds like Portugal is the place to go. And
Yeah.
looking on the map, and looking at some pictures online, it looks beautiful.
Yeah.
It looks absolutely beautiful there.
Yeah, I can say one more thing, one more,
Please
one more
do.
promotion of Portugal, like,
Absolutely.
and we can move from this topic. Uh, okay, so for example, my office, I have an office here, and from my office, I'm driving by car, like less than 10 minutes to the beach to do surfing. So I mean,
Wow.
yeah.
Okay, I'm
So you,
sold.
yeah, you can do like surf in the morning, then go to office, like have a nice, yeah, have working day, and then like, yeah, it's something. I
Okay.
think it's worth it.
I think so. If there was a doubt in me before, you've eliminated all doubts. I think I'm going to have to figure out how to get there. That sounds amazing.
Yeah, that's true.
Oh, so let me ask this: how did you get started building marketing reports? Like,
Yeah.
what was that journey like?
Okay, yeah. So it's kind of long journey, because I started to work in marketing in 2009. It's quite, yeah, quite some time ago. Then I worked in office in the beginning, so like normal career. Then I started to think, okay, it's good, but the world is so big. I would like to be a digital nomad. For one moment in my life, I wanted to be a digital nomad. So I quit my office and started to do marketing. I continue to do marketing as a consulting. As a In the beginning, I worked alone as a freelancer, as a consultor. Um, After some time, I had more clients, and I started. It started to become like a small agency. So I had clients who paid me money, and I started to have a team like, who did job manually instead of me. Mm, I did more like manager jobs. um, but so it sounds good, but every first and second of month I was like out of my normal job because I did only reports. Because when you work in marketing, you're always, okay, we invested this amount of money. How money did we get back? Okay, how our campaigns work? Okay, we spent so much for Google Ads. Okay, which campaign brought us leads, brought us conversions, so on. So in office, I had one company, so it was a bit easier. But when you're an agency, you have like, I don't know, 10, 15 clients of 20, and you have to prepare reports every month. You have to, before I sent invoice, I had to show like for what I send you invoice. I started to think, okay, what can I do with that? Of course, it was, I think, end of 2018, beginning of 19. And that period of time, I worked with Tableau. But for my goal, it wasn't the best solution because I needed something like lighter, if I can say that. So more simple to set up, because Tableau is good for big companies. Like Power BI is good for if you have all data in one, like MySQL database. Power BI is great if you have like if but for my goal, I have data in Google Analytics, I have Google Ads, I have like Google Sheets tables. So and Google and Microsoft, it's like Windows and iPhone, like and MacBook. So I started to find a solution, and I found that I think Google announced Looker Studio and 2018. So it was like first month when Google announced it, Google Data Studio. It was first name was Google Data Studio. So I found, okay, it's Google. So they have um, integration, like easy integration to Google Analytics, and that was the first goal. So I don't need to do any developer work to bring my Google Analytics data to a nice dashboard. So it was the first point. And second, I had some data in Google Sheets. So Google Sheets, it's a Google. So it was super easy to join this data together. I started to study how does it work, and I prepared this super simple. I don't want to show this dashboard for no one, but for that period of time, it was great. I showed my clients this dashboard, like simple dashboards with all like, okay, we spent for Facebook this money, like for ACO this and that, and my clients were super happy. And for me, I set up it once, And I didn't need to create this dashboard every month, because like Looker Studio works like that. You connect data sources, you have new data in Google Analytics every day, and it uploaded, and Looker Studio takes this data from Google Analytics every 15 minutes, for example. So you have your fresh report constantly, like 24 hours.
Okay, so for everybody listening, if you are not familiar with having to create these reports manually, it's tedious and hard, and
Yeah,
it's just unpleasant. So
definitely.
the fact that you were able to figure out a way to make it automatically update
Yeah,
using Looker Studio, wow.
yeah.
I mean, not just for those businesses, but for you as well. That was a huge time savings.
Yeah, for me, firstly, I did it for myself. I mean, I did. It wasn't a goal like to close the agency. I said, okay, now I'm doing reporting. No, I just did it for myself. Then I started to offer to my clients were happy, and I started to offer these services just like as additional service. And then I started growing, and I said, okay, this is a market, and this market that I like. I studied like some analytics stuff, like data analysis, how to work with SQL, how to work with Python. You don't need Python to work with Looker Studio, but it just for myself to understand better like data analysis. Yeah, so it was more because I like to know a bit deeper than I provide than services that I provide to my clients. And I started to sell it. I don't know, and because people started to ask it, and I just started to sell it.
And it sounds like too, it just made it easy for these businesses to implement and work with you on. So it seems like it made it better for everybody.
I hope so. I hope I bring value, but at least people pay me for that. So hopefully,
If they're still paying you, you're doing great.
yeah, I
That
think
that's
so.
that.
I think this is when you do marketing and when you work, when you have your business. I think like money, it's a good indicator. Okay, you do right stuff, so people paying you.
But that's true. It's if because sometimes marketing things are a little fuzzy, a little gray. It's sometimes, people say, well, is marketing doing well or am I doing
Mhm.
right? But clearly you're doing something right if they're willing to continue paying you because
Yeah.
businesses don't like paying for stuff that they're not seeing results from.
Yeah. And I think that's true. And actually, I think my job here, like what I'm doing, I have now my team again. So I don't do all my stuff by my own, because yeah, I have my team. I found some people who already were great with data analysis, and I thought like, how do I work with Looker Studio? So now I have a team, so I don't do all, because it's impossible to do all things by myself. When people cut budget for marketing, I think my job is important as well, because I show like what works, which channel works. We can see really clear on the simple Looker Studio page. Okay, we had this campaign brought us money. Okay, this remarketing campaign brought us money. So okay, we can invest more there. Yeah, you can save budget if you have nice dashboard. You can see your business more clear, like in easy understand what is going on. You don't need to spend a lot of time to see um, your position.
That's incredible because I know a lot of marketing departments, they can't get a good understanding of what's working, so they try and be everywhere
Yeah,
hoping that something works.
but it's true. But you need to analyze it somehow.
You do, because if you don't do any analysis, you're guessing. But it sounds like with what you are doing, it makes it easy for them to understand what works and what doesn't, so
True.
that they can use their budget better and more efficiently, and that's powerful.
So I did a lot of dashboards for different companies, and I noticed that, for example, performance marketing agencies, they need the same stuff. Oh, more or less, more or less. I can customize it, but basically they need the same stuff. If you have ACO agency or ACO freelancer, this person need something like they all of them need more or less same things from reporting, like base is the same. um, so, and I had this idea to sell it as a product, not as a service, because our service could be like when you do something manually, it like cost for human work, and of course it makes like cost higher. I was thinking, how can I improve it? How can I make my product really simple, that people can get it if they don't have like small freelancer who doesn't have budget. And this was idea of my startup, and this was I'm working on it. But this is story of Gaille Reports online store, because I have templates. Templates, it's not just okay, I think this, it will be nice to see this metric. No, all my templates based on a real client's requests. So I did like 10 the same dashboard for 10 agencies. I said, okay, I can do something in the middle between all requests and make it as a template that you can buy for like really little money, and you can start to use it, and you can test as a product, because yeah, if you never worked with Looker Studio or you just started to work, it's a simple Google tool, but you don't know all features, all possibilities that you can do. So you can just buy a template and start to use it, and you will have some value for your business, because it's already, you can see some data, sometimes from several data sources, sometimes from one, like Google Search Console or something. Mm, so it's, I think, my first type of clients, like small businesses, like really, like people who just started to do something, people just who's or freelancers, or really beginners in business. And I think templates is really great, because it makes, and for me it's about education as well, because I think um, I like okay, it's more deeper topic, but okay, I believe in economic of like small businesses. If small businesses are growing in the country, like the economic in the country will grow. So for me, like when I do product for small businesses, I kind of help. This my impact to the world, like kind of this stuff.
That's true though, because if in helping small businesses, especially helping them gain efficiencies, helping them be able to better use their budget to grow their business,
Yeah.
you were you were making a huge impact on each business you come in contact with.
I hope so. I really hope it. Like it is one of my idea of my like online store, and and the main idea of my startup, because my startup is like automating, like how to. So my main idea, yeah, I want to help small businesses to automate their like marketing and sales reports, and make the business more efficiency. Yeah, to have more revenue and grow. Um, so it's a like entrance point to look to reporting, I think, like because it's cheap, it's simple, and it's for everyone. And when your business start growing, I have, and then I can say, okay, I have two types of clients. Yeah, the first time it's startups. That I really love to work with startups, um, especially with SaaS startups when they have subscriptions, because yeah, because it's I like this idea of the business model, and for me as a data analyst, it's interesting, because we can do interesting analytics. We can say, okay, this group of customers brought you money. Okay, this product is works better, like some cohort analysis. It's really interesting work.
And a lot of those small businesses, they just don't have the people who can do what you're doing or be able
Yeah,
to analyze that data or pull the data. They that's not like their first three hires,
for
right?
sure, for sure. And they don't like, and this is a good point, because some actually they don't need, because when you have I don't know, thousand of sales or 10,000 of sales, like I mean, when you don't have a huge amount of data, you don't need to have a person in your team, like full-time person or full-time department, because you don't have so much work for them. Even I talked yesterday with my good friend. He's a data engineer, like senior data engineer, and he said, "Okay, I don't like. Sometimes I have job interview, and it's just boring because like the company doesn't have data for me, like to me, and this where I come because for me I can help the business for me because it's already could be interesting because they already have sales, already have data, and for them it's interesting. They don't need to have a full-time person. So I think it's a perfect combination when startup has like first investment already, they already did something and they prepare for the second round of investments, for example, or even if they don't have investor, they just started to grow. And I think it's a really great match because I can really bring value to this kind of companies. Yeah.
Oh, definitely. Definitely. And that's a very good point on the fact that if the amount of data you have
Hmm.
matters in terms of the tool that's best for you. Like you were mentioning earlier with Tableau or Power BI or some of those others, for small businesses,
It's
it's like
wasting of
trying to
money. Yeah.
yeah, it's a total waste because it's too big of a tool for them.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, I believe in that. Yeah, I think I heard this phrase many years ago when I just started to work in marketing. So always choose partners like the same size as you. So I mean, if you're a small
I like
business,
that.
work with small businesses. Like if you're a huge company, yeah, you work with a huge agencies or you work with like the same like the top leader, like market leaders. But I think it's all the time this combination. I think this all the time the perfect combination.
I think I love that example and that idea because I think sometimes small businesses, well, I think a lot of businesses they don't think that way. They say, okay, who's the biggest company and they must be doing what I need. They must be doing it best, but that's not really the case because they're probably not doing it best for you.
Yeah. If you are like have a small business and you think, okay, oh my friend used Tableau, I will use Tableau. But just to implement it to your business, it will cost you like more than your income for like yearly income. Come on. You don't need it.
So, what's one or two challenges that you see these businesses have? I know you mentioned sometimes it's size, sometimes it's getting at their data. Anything else that you'd like to touch on? Because I got to believe that they have several challenges they face.
Yeah, like no, we can talk about agencies, for example. I didn't talk about them yet, about
Yeah, go
marketing
ahead.
agencies.
Yeah,
Yeah, because I think about about startups. I already mentioned some like key points. Do I think? And about agencies, it's a bit. Agencies have a bit different challenges. For example, uh, as I was an agency who worked with different clients, yeah, I know, I understand it. I understand this pain to prepare like 10, 15 dashboards every first of month. So this is a challenge. And challenge how to unify data from different ads platforms and CRM in one place. And if you never done it before, you will have some troubles because there are a lot of platforms, there are a lot of ways to do it. So what I'm doing, I cannot say you have to use only Looker Studio and it's only one way. No, it's not only one way, and this is a problem. When you have when you have one way to do something, you learn this way and you do it. But when you talk about marketing, it's always like 100 ways to do the same stuff. So I know and when the agency started to think about dashboards and like how to automate all this stuff, um, they can spend a lot of time just to understand how to do it, and they have to research a lot about like which services do they need to use. If you have like Facebook ads, TikTok ads, LinkedIn, whatever, and you need to calculate the total cost. Simple, just total cost. Uh, you need to copy paste it manually to Google Sheets. No, but it's not nice. So there are different connectors, platforms that I use. I didn't use this term in this podcast yet, but there are every advertising platform, every CRM system, everything that like most of them, they have open API, and where you can connect to this API, um, and pull data from your platform to any storage. It could be MySQL database, but you need a person who works with SQL in this case. But you can, if you don't have a lot of data, like agencies usually they don't have too much data. So Google Sheets works well, and you can use basically Google Sheets as your database, and it's already super flexible. And even at this moment, when I talk to agencies and they start, like I had this conversation a lot when people started to mm, develop a bicycle, this stuff. And yes, I said, yeah, guys, you can just use simple tools, just collect data in Google Sheets, like because every marketer knows what is Google Sheets. And when I set up everything, um, they can easily manage it. They can easily support it, modify, and whatever. Um, but I show them how to bring all this data from different platforms to simple tool as a Google Sheets, for example. I can work like more complex stuff when the company needs. But my point is, I try to make things easier. If it's possible to make it easier, let's do it easier. So I can bring data. I can help them to say, okay, I can help agencies to organize the system of reporting system, how to build all this process. So my final product will be not the dashboard, like a dashboard. Okay, now you can do whatever you want with that. I do a system to how can you bring all data to one place, how you transform this data, how can you update if you need to update. So if you don't want to, you don't need me after that when we set up everything. So you can keep it, you can maintain this system by yourself because when it is set up, it's easier to maintain. And when you have new client, you can easily copy this for new client. So and challenge to bring all data together. Challenge, I think, that to bring this data together. And yeah, I do it every day with my team, so we know how to do it, and yeah, we can help it. And why it is good for agencies, I think, because it brings additional value to their clients as well. I think that's important because, for example, if you run Facebook ads, you're like, I'm an agency running Facebook ads, and my clients, they want to know how efficient this ads. And when they have Looker Studio report that works 24 hours, you can send the link and they can see what I'm doing. They can see my work as an agency like every day when they need, like Friday evening, Sunday morning, if their boss decided to work on Sunday morning, and it's more transparent between it became my relationship with the client as an agency. The client became more transparent. I think this is a great benefit. Then for agencies, it saves time. For like save time means save resources for team because we set up it once and they can keep it. They don't need to set up it every month. Mm, and I think even agencies can use Looker Studio dashboard as their advantages when they sell their services for new clients. So it's I think it's a good advantage. Like transparency nowadays, I think it's a good advantage. I don't know.
I think so too. The transparency, the ease of use for agency customers, so the agency's not having to continually create these reports. Their customers can look at it, the information whenever they want. And I think I like how you're trying to keep it simple. Like we're just gonna we'll all information can roll to a Google sheet, right?
I try to do no. Okay, okay. In most cases, yes, there are
Most
complex
cases.
cases. Yeah, I try. Yeah, when I can keep it simple, I try to keep it simple. Yeah.
Well, but like from my experience, like it used to be all roads lead to Microsoft Excel. And so
Yeah.
all the data would funnel there. I've seen large businesses who probably should have been running on something besides a spreadsheet
Yeah.
uh, run on spreadsheets. So I
Okay.
think
No, okay, maybe in some point, of course, in some point, yeah, Google Sheets and Excel, it's not enough. Yeah, it's
no, no, I agree. But at the same time, for like you say, for small businesses or startups, it's the perfect tool
definitely.
because yeah, because it's just they don't have as much data that something like an SQL database or something like that is required.
Yeah, sure. Like, I mean, when I work with my clients and I see that that I already understand that okay, their data a bit too big for Google Sheets. Of course, we move. I recommend them when you should move to BigQuery. I like to work with BigQuery as a Google Cloud part, like BigQuery is SQL database basically. Um, but like we can connect to Looker Studio to dashboard any MySQL, any SQL database. So Postgres, MySQL. So if clients they have their infrastructure already set up, we can work with this as well. So it's possible to connect if clients has database in any SQL storage, any, we can connect it to Looker Studio as well. It's fine.
Wow. So
Yeah,
if so for everybody listening, whether you are running off of a Google Sheet, whether you're running off of a MySQL type
yeah.
of database, this tool will work for you.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, they have like this. I like Looker Studio. They have a lot of connectors right now because it became popular for marketers, and they have connectors for the most common tools like for almost all CRM that people use like usually. Of course, if you use something custom, yeah, they don't have connectors, but for tools that marketers usually use, they have already connectors, they have already some tools to integrate your data there. So even like small businesses, medium-sized businesses, so it's really great. And it's a free tool for small businesses. But if you have like a really huge corporation, Looker Studio has a paid version as well. Like there is a Looker, like Looker in Looker Studio, there are two different tools. And this is for big companies already, for bigger companies who has more data because it's more about modeling stuff when for more complex things. But yeah, yeah, no, no. Of course, like when I work with companies, I can say, okay, for you, Google Sheets is good. For you, no, no, no. Let's move to to database. You are not good for that. Yeah, it's sure.
Well, and just the fact that you're able to make those recommendations and give them
Yeah,
recommendations on based on the size of your company, based on what you're trying to do, this is the best fit for you. You are able to help them really set the foundations for their business so that it works best.
yeah, yeah. And I think it's really yeah. If you don't have data person who is responsible for data in your company, you need someone outside who will give you some
Mhm.
tips, for example, tips, at least tips to say what to do with that. Because usually if you're like owner of the company, like you don't have time to think about that, okay, where should I storage my data?
So, what types of businesses are in the greatest need of implementing automated reporting?
I would like that report automation became something, some necessary part of every business, because for small companies they don't have time but I have templates. Oh, they don't have data, they don't have budget, but I have like simple templates, so they already can start to use like simple dashboards to understand the data. Companies growing, so they need to have a bigger like more complex system. So it's again about the reports and stuff. Even I did some dashboards for investors for startups. like like when a business has before like next round of investments, the business owner they need to show results of the company. So I even helped a couple of startups prepare this presentation for investors. So even in this case as well, like growing businesses, not growing businesses, you have some troubles. You want to understand where do you have these troubles. So you can automate it. You can see the like real case. And of course, big companies, they need it, but they have own departments. I think every big companies will tell you, okay, we are data driven, we have our data department. So yeah. But for me, with whom I work, it's mostly like with whom I like to work, it's agencies, marketing agencies, and startups. I think this is two my main clients with whom I like to work, with whom I know what to do, and it's I feel like I feel super confident. Yeah.
One takeaway that you would like to leave listeners with today? Anything you would, either a suggestion, an action item, something to consider? What's one takeaway you'd like to leave them with?
I want to say, don't be afraid of data because, like now, automate your reports. It's not so scary and not so painful as you can think. With Google Platform, with Looker Studio, it could be really easy. It could be fast, and you can have real results. You can see results quite fast. If you haven't worked with Looker Studio yet, I can recommend you to check my Gaille Reports online store, to check my templates, just to have an overview what it is. I have one free template. If you send me a message in any um, system, Instagram, YouTube, whatever, I can send you, or email, I can send you a free simple template, one page sales funnel template that you can test. How is Looker Studio? How does it work? Like, how do you like it or not like it? So you can test it. Yeah, check my online store. You can find some nice dashboards there as well, to bring your additional motivation or even like as my gift to Eric audience, to you, to listeners who listen to this podcast, I would like to give you 20% discount for my online store. It's the code will be not a fault. You can find it. I think Eric can edit below this video, right? Or not video.
Absolutely. We will put that in the show notes as well for people to access. And that's very kind. It really is, because sometimes both the, like, even saying, giving a free sample of a template,
Mhm.
like a discount code, all of that, because you're really just trying to help people.
I want people to try it. Yeah, because I think I really believe that it's a great tool that people can. Yeah, and I want to give people opportunity, the easy opportunity to try it. Yeah. So yeah, feel free to contact me in by mail on my online store on my website. You can find a form where you can send a message. My website is gailereports.com. You can find me on YouTube. Yeah, if you want to learn Looker Studio, I do some educated videos about analysis that I do. I do some, like, I share some tips and tricks about Google Sheets for marketers, about Looker Studio, how to work with Looker Studio. So even when you check my videos, you can start to, yeah, if you buy or give a free template or buy some template and check my videos, you already can do some, you can start already to build a system by yourself. But if you don't want to spend time for that, always welcome to my company, always welcome to work with me. And for this, like for big projects, I can offer like 15% of discount, yeah, using the same code, just for audience of It's Marketing Fault podcast. Special for you. I think
Well,
that is
well,
it, yeah.
thank you, and thank you very much for that. And so, if you're listening, I would encourage you, go to Gala Reports, check out the templates. Definitely check out uh, the YouTube channel. Get into the information and really lower that fear. As Gala said, it's not as scary anymore. It's much easier than it has been in the past. So, Gala, this has been a wonderful conversation. I've learned just so much from you. Thanks for joining me today.
Thank you. It was really interesting to talk to you. Yeah, I really hope it was helpful and interesting. Yeah, for your audience as well, like for listeners. Yeah,
I,
it's
I, I think so. I know a lot of marketers who who can benefit from this. So, yeah, this
Great.
was wonderful.
Great. Thank you.